It's funny, I've already made a few videos asking when Paolo Banchero is going to get the respect I feel like he's more than earned. And this is another one of those videos because last night this dude dropped 50 points on the Pacers in a win. 50 points at 21 years old. He shot 16 of 26 from the field and 15 of 22 from the free throw line. That's probably the biggest complaint you can have, is that he missed 7 free throws. But like an efficient 50-point game, and the icing on the cake is that he also chipped in 13 rebounds and 9 assists. This dude is just, it's hard for me to prove the absence of something, but I just, as someone who's chronically online NBA Twitter and really feels like they have a pretty good pulse on how people feel about the NBA and all that stuff, it really feels like Paolo Banchero just doesn't get the credit he deserves. Like in the conversation of who are the best young players in the NBA, who's got next, who could potentially be the next face of the league, it just doesn't feel like Paolo is in that conversation or in the levels, in the stratospheres of that conversation as he should be. It's Wemby, it's Ant, it's Halliburton. People gush over Tyrese Maxey, over Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, like so many other guys. And I'm not saying those guys don't deserve praise, but it's just it just feels like Paolo has checked literally every single box you could possibly ask of him in a little over 2 seasons. This dude was the #1 overall pick a few years ago, came in, won Rookie of the Year, second season made the All-Star team, led the Magic back to the playoffs, took the Cavs 7 games in the first round, averaged 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists in his playoff debut series, in almost getting to the second round. Like, if I told you that a #1 pick did all of that stuff, you'd be like, oh my God, this dude is a future superstar. And it's not necessarily that people don't think that. I just don't think they're talking about it as much. I'm telling you, this is what I see. Like, it's just, it doesn't make sense. Like, it can't possibly be that old saying of like, oh, well, it's because he plays in a small market. Like, that doesn't exist anymore in the social media era. And then to see him go out and score 50 in, what was it, their 4th game of the season. This dude is 21 years old. He's only going to turn 22 in a couple weeks. Like, that's so insanely young, and he's doing so many insanely awesome things. And like, how are we just not, like, in the same way we gush over Wemby and we gush over Ant? Like, I feel like Paolo has done everything to deserve to be in part of that conversation. He might not be as flashy with the highlights and the trash talk in the same way as those guys, but like, he's just as effective. Like 50. And like, the Pacers might not have the best defense, but there's certainly no pushovers as far as just like a team. Paolo had 37 in the first half. I've been saying this for years now because it's just at every step, Paolo has passed every test you could possibly want from him. And it's just still like, I still just feel like that conversation with him isn't where it should be. I mean, I guess the silver lining in it all is that whether you are aware of this or not, whether you're on the bandwagon or not, he's still coming. He's coming really hard. He's already, the numbers from this season compared to last are already up. The Magic are probably going to take another step. So he's coming whether you like it or not. I don't know why it bothers me so much. I just feel like, in the social media era, it feels like stars, whether you play in New York or Charlotte, like, you're going to get your dues. But it just feels like for Paolo Banchero, like, it's not necessarily there yet. And every time he does something like this, whether it is Rookie of the Year, make the All-Star team as a sophomore, which again, I don't think is a small feat, leading his team to the playoffs. That's the thing, he didn't just get to the playoffs, he led his team to the playoffs. And they didn't just get there just to get there. They took the Cavs 7 games. They put up a fight against a Cleveland Cavaliers team that was pretty seasoned in the playoffs, at least. Like, they took them 7 games. And so, like, I don't necessarily know what the answer is here. Like, I bought all the Paolo Banchero stock I possibly can. I have a massive real estate on Paolo Banchero Island. That's all I can do. I don't know if I can start like some campaign. I don't know. Like, this 50-point game, like, it's just another example of like, this dude is a future superstar, but I don't feel like he's talked about in that way, and it really bothers me. And I hope it changes, whether like we all come to that realization, or maybe he just does something so insanely awesome that like we just have no other choice. I hope it's inevitable, but like I just don't know. And like, I want it to be, because he's so awesome. He's done everything you could possibly ask and more coming out of Duke, and I just